thanks for being here today. My name is Claudia Vaughn. I'm with The Things, and I'm so excited to be sitting down with Whitney Thore from TLC's My Big Fat Fabulous Life.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. So this season, season 12, obviously revolves around your 40th birthday. So how do you feel in general when you're reflecting on such an extraordinary milestone?
Well, I feel a little bit better now that the season has wrapped than I did during the season because I did take an amazing trip to Spain. I believe those are the finale episodes. And it was an incredible trip. I love traveling and I always feel inspired and, reinvigorated. But this trip specifically, I think, is something that also the viewers will like a lot because I really got back to my roots and did a lot of dancing. And I haven't danced in a few seasons. So that was really exciting. We did flamenco classes and saw some of the best flamenco artists in the whole country. It was an amazing, amazing trip. So I'm feeling a little bit better with being 40 now, but it hasn't been easy. I have to be honest. I wish I could, say something different, but it has not been easy.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it's a huge shift. And I also really related to what you said about how just traveling is one of the best experiences to kind of, bring that joy back into your life sometimes when you go through a tough period. Yeah. So yeah, I understand that it was flamenco themed and that it was like dancing was a big part of it. Were there any other elements or reasons why you chose Spain specifically for your birthday trip?
Well, the men. The men are nice. But I love the culture. I hadn't been there, one of the few countries in Europe that I have not actually been to yet. So, also my dad hadn't been there and, you got to take Glendor along, every time you do anything. So, it was just something that I think all of my family and friends were really going to enjoy. And I was definitely right. We all really loved it. The funny thing is that I planned the trip around it being on the Sun Coast and it being this really, sunny, beautiful coastal vacation. And it was torrential rains every single day that we were there. I think it was historic amounts of rain, except for this one afternoon, we had a couple hours, in Marbella where it was sunny to kind of bounce around the town, but it really did pour rain the entire time, but it was still amazing. So that shows you how amazing it was because we still enjoyed it that much, even though we were soaking wet for 7 days.
Oh my God. Yeah, that really goes to show you. Well, I obviously have not seen the whole trip yet, but I'm excited to see it unfold. And I got a little bit of a teaser at the end of this episode about a nude beach. So I have no doubt there are more adventures to come.
See, I hate this because, you're lucky you get to see it. I don't get to see episodes until they air. And people say, oh, well, you lived it, so you must know. And I'm like,
I don't know what's airing when
or how it's edited or anything. So, yes, we did definitely get involved with the nude beach. And I think for the first time in my life, I was not the first person to take my clothes off. I would like to just make that clear to everybody. But yeah, actually, that was after a pretty traumatic event that we had. And my friends did it to cheer me up. So that'll be interesting to watch that because I think, you'll start really low and then end up really naked, as life usually is, I guess.
I want to bring it back to dancing, actually, because in this most recent episode, we see you attend an African dance class with Todd, which I loved seeing. And I know you mentioned you first tried that form of dance when you were 15. So I was wondering.
25 years ago, I guess. I don't know math.
Yeah.
So I had not taken African specifically since I was about 15 years old. And I loved the class. Like I said, I haven't gotten to see it yet on TV, but I did see the flamenco class last week and that was amazing. And, I got a lot of messages on Instagram and I think it's true. People were like, I could just see in your face, the happiness. And I was like, yeah, I could too. It's so easy to kind of forget, just the basic things that can help us feel happy and bring us joy. I'm always like, oh, what can I do? Why I feel so shitty. And I'm like, well, you could start by doing one thing that you love to do.
Yeah.
And I'd really gotten away from dance for a couple years now. I think post-COVID, my whole life just never really went back to normal, unfortunately. So I've been focusing on kind of getting back to some of the basics and things that I know that I love and enjoy. And dance is definitely one of those. So I was happy to do more of that this season.
Well, obviously you've tried multiple forms of dance, different styles. I just personally was wondering, do you think that you can get different things out of different dance forms? I know they come from different cultures or you move differently. What is that like to you?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, culture informs dance. So every time you learn a dance from a specific culture, you are learning about that culture. You're learning about how people, move their bodies and what they want to present to other people and all that kind of stuff. So for sure, I think, it's like if you want to really learn about a culture, you could look at the art, you could look at the dance, you could learn the language, you could watch the movies. I mean, all those are really exciting ways to delve into other cultures versus, sitting in your bed, Googling or, going on Wikipedia.
Sure.
So you should actually, dive into it and you can learn a lot more.
Yeah, it seems like such a great way to, like exactly as you're saying, learn more about the culture, but then kind of like interact and like live it a little bit. I think it's such a nice compromise. That's fantastic. And I want to pivot again for something else that we see in the episode, which is the incredible downstairs renovation that you do.
Oh.
Yes, at home, which I personally just love that we get a little bit of like a home reno show in the episode as well.
So much home reno, and I always do it when we're not shooting because obviously like I don't want to be shooting and then be like, oh, you guys can't come in the house. I have construction and this and that. So I've redone like my entire house over the years, but you never get to see any of the process because we're not shooting.
No, that's so crazy. Yeah. Well, we get the incredible before and after shot. I'll tell you that. And
it's really
cool.
I didn't take before and after myself. So I can't wait to see. And things usually look even better on TV. So I can't wait to see how it looks. My dad's obsessed with it though. He still sometimes I'll get a text in the middle of the day and he's just like, I just love what you did with the downstairs bedroom. He's still like it's months and months later and he still loves it. So I felt so satisfied because my mother was really good at it. Of course, my mother's passed, but that's something I think I got from her. She could have had a career as an interior designer. Absolutely. And I like kind of being able to pull specific elements, like this room, had a lot of touches from my mom and stuff like that. It was for my dad. And so I don't know that I'm like the most stylish or trendy, person out there, but I love to kind of make it a room with meaning, if that makes sense. So I was excited. I kind of felt like I was on a little.
I feel like I definitely picked up on that. No, you took the words right out of my mouth, which I was going to ask about Glenn's reaction to it. But no, I thought it was really special that it wasn't just like updating it in a style that you like, but there is a lot of meaning and significance behind the choices you made. So it was really, really moving to see. So I would love a spin-off show like that if and when it happens. That would be great. Yeah. I love just getting to see the strength of the relationships in your life on the show. That's one of my favorite parts. And so in this episode, we also see you supporting Tal. He opens in this episode. You guys have a conversation where he opens up about his mental health. And it was really great. I really appreciate whenever those kinds of conversations come up on screen. It means a lot to me. Yeah. So I was wondering, have you ever had moments where you believe, your own struggles with mental health have equipped you to understand and support your friends? Or is it challenging to do so sometimes? What is that like for you?
Well, I mean, I think in my group of friends, we're all severely mentally ill. And I say that with humor, but like we are. So, and television for me specifically has a lot of its own challenges that make my mental health way worse. About this time a year ago, I was almost suicidal. It's like I'm almost uncomfortable saying I was suicidal, but I think I was just because of the things that come along with doing reality TV. It is very difficult. But I can 100% understand Tal and relate to Tal. And I was so happy that he opened up about that on camera. And I told him, off camera, I gave him a lot of encouragement. And I said, this is really important for people. I think my biggest point of pride with My Big Fat Fabulous Life is that it's not your typical, what we think of as reality TV. I think it's very impactful. I think it's meaningful. And I don't think that it's superficial or vapid or anything like that. So anytime we have the opportunity to bring these real issues to people and let other people see themselves in us, that to me is what matters. That's the only reason I do this. I would never do it. It wouldn't be worth it. If I didn't think I was actually affecting people in a positive way. So I think Tal was really strong to open up about that. And I'm really proud of him. And he is doing better currently. Good. So that's good.
I'm happy to hear it. Yeah. Also, I'm sorry to hear about your struggles last year. I'm sure it was a really, really difficult time. And I appreciate you opening up about that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know it's tough. And I imagine it's a bit of a double-edged sword. I completely agree with what you're saying, that your reality show really stands out from what we typically think of as like a soapy kind of dramatic. And I love how authentic it is. And I love that it's just kind of a true behind the scenes look at your life. And I can imagine, maybe pressures you feel knowing that you have a platform and that so many people do look up to you, but then also just being a real person. So I appreciate you sharing all this, genuinely.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
In this episode, you describe yourself as an elder millennial turned homebody, which I really, really felt in my soul. And so as you're getting back into the dating pool in the show, I was wondering, did you ever imagine yourself sliding into a guy's DMs the way that we see you do?
Oh, God, no. I mean, like I said, I think it's, I am an elder millennial, and then COVID really derailed me, and I never recovered. And because I don't have a job outside of the home, I do reality TV. So I never had a life to go back to in a way. And, so for me, I've really been struggling and just how to get out there. And I think turning 40, I wish this weren't the case. And I wish I didn't have to validate this, but I also wouldn't be being honest if I didn't. I think it's hard, especially once you hit 40, even on dating apps, the amount of men that don't toggle their age range past 39. It is difficult. And then you got to think about the men that want children. And that's probably not a possibility for me at my age. And so there are some very specific challenges on top of just dating is hard, always has been for me anyway, always will be, I imagine. But I've never been this long with this with this amount of nothing going on in the love life. So it's been hard. I'm an independent person and I've been single for a long time. And even when I wasn't single, my boyfriend was in France. And so it wasn't a traditional relationship. So, I mean, I can live day to day on my own, but I got a lot of love to give. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm ready. I want something. I mean, I have 3 cats and a dog, but it's not enough. I need a man, So we're working on that. I won't give any spoilers, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah. If you had to describe the vibe that you're trying to give off on your dating profile in 5 words or less, what do you think you'd say?
Confident, playful, the opposite of superficial. I don't know what to say. Confident, playful, not superficial, interesting, and beautiful. I would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's hard because, and I say this with men. I mean, I swipe left on almost everyone. And I know that if I met those men in person, I might not find them that attractive. But see, personality for me, I could literally see someone and be like, oh my God, they're really unattractive. And they talk to me for 5 minutes and I'm like, I would give anything, So I feel sorry for all the men I swipe left on. And I'm like, it's probably the same with me, especially if men are intimidated by my size or whatever. I know that if it were in person, there might be an attraction there that you don't see, just on the profile. So I try to do things that make me appear attractive in other ways, as a well-rounded individual, because I don't think I can rely just on my physical beauty for the online dating world. But it's a challenge, it really is.
Yeah, I think it's a great roundup of words. I totally understand. Yeah, it's definitely a downside of the apps is that you're just kind of getting this one-dimensional profile, at least to start. But yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I loved, there's a scene when you're kind of going through which photos you might include on your dating profile, and some of your nude photos come up as potential options.
Oh, good.
So I wanted to ask about that. And I wanted to ask, one, what it was like for you to do a nude photo shoot in general. And then secondly, is it something that you would recommend to other women to give them a sense of empowerment?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was nothing. I'm naked all the time. My crew and my producers and my camera ops, they've all seen me naked. There was my friends live with me naked. I mean, it was nothing to me. However, if it is something that's challenging for you, I definitely would recommend it. Because there was a time, 10, 15, 20 years ago that I could not look at myself naked, and I hated it. And I would literally turn the lights off or just, go past mirrors. And I do think that it is a mark of something good when you can face yourself in the mirror naked and be okay with it. Even if you don't love it, just to be neutral about your body. I do think it's important. And I used to recommend to people, if they're really uncomfortable being naked or uncomfortable with their body, just start sleeping naked. That's I remember that's what I did at the beginning. I just started sleeping naked. And then I'm almost like a nudist. I am naked. I just like being naked. No, I also have ADHD and I don't like a lot of textiles. So as soon as I come home, I'm like, I gotta just take it, you know? But yeah, I think it's definitely something that can improve your confidence if you are a little bit hesitant or uncomfortable about your body, for sure. Yeah.
That's great. I really like, I haven't thought about this, but describing it as just kind of feeling neutral about your body, I think is really great. Cause I know sometimes we can get into like the toxic positivity, like you have to love and accept, where it's like, no, maybe,
I hate it.
yeah.
And it's a tall order to be like, oh, I mean, for whatever you look like, it doesn't matter. I mean, and you don't have to, you don't have to, I don't think you have to love everything about yourself. Like, for example, I'm balding. Okay. None of this hair is mine. And I don't love that. And I never will. And I can become more comfortable with it and more confident with it and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think I failed if at the end of the day, I say, I still wish I had hair, you know, like I just wish, I wish I had more hair, and that's okay. I don't think the goal is to, decide that I have to feel otherwise. I think that I can start to feel neutral about, you know, hair loss, and I can start to feel like, okay, it doesn't make me bad. It doesn't make me good. Sure. I wish I had more, but this is what it is. I think it's a toxic positivity in so many ways I hate it so much, and I hear it so much. And I think people think it's like what I want to hear, and I don't, and I hate it. But yeah, I think neutrality and acceptance, like sometimes you have to radically accept things, even if you wish they were different. And that's okay.
Yeah, I love that. I love that as a goal. And it just is reasonable because, I don't know. Otherwise, I feel like the toxic positivity can backfire, and it's just, not where we want to be. I know we don't have you for that much longer. So I was just wondering just if there's anything else that we didn't cover, or else can you just share a bit more with us where you are in your life right now and kind of what your main focuses in life are?
I think my birthday trip was the impetus to turning a lot of things in my life around. I have some new exciting things on the romantic front, and so do some other cast members. Just really, really exciting big life things for almost all of us, I think. So I hope there's a season 13 that you get to follow along. And if not, I'll spill it all on Instagram. So you can find me there at Whitney Thore.
Perfect. We can sneak in a little bit of the personal stuff when you have the home renovation show. We'll do a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. I can't wait to watch the rest of the season. So thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. It's so lovely to meet you, honestly. So
thank you. It's very nice to meet you too.